Yes, boys and girls, welcome back to another podcast, the Footy Culture Podcast, and obviously the usual boys. We got Spatty, James,
Hey,
Mateuzinho, and Daniel in the booth,
Danielino,
No J.
Danielino,
Danielino Crocodilo.
and myself, no Jayzinho today. But you guys, it was a crazy weekend of football. Some crazy results. Inter losing, dropping points. Napoli getting some points. Now they're tied for first place. Nuts.
At least
Season's almost
we got
done
a title
soon.
race, at least in one of the leagues, right?
Yeah,
Which is
season's
good.
almost done, so a couple games left. But yeah, title race in Serie A, right?
Yeah, both teams currently on 71 points. So if Inter and Napoli both end first with the same amount of points, they'll have to play a do or die game to decide who wins Serie A. What do we think about this? Is it the right thing? Should more leagues implement this?
When's the
Interesting.
last time this has ever happened?
I have no idea. I didn't even know that this was a rule, to be honest. And
Yeah,
like,
feel-
I'm the Serie A guy.
it feels like it's. Yeah, how do you not know this? But it feels like something I haven't. I never knew was in like a possibility type of thing. Like I'm sure, like I thought they would go to like the next thing. You know, if it's
Who's
not
got more goals for?
next goals for.
Like who's got better disciplinary record? Like
Yeah.
silly stuff like that.
But no, I like the way they're doing this.
This is sick.
And it's something different, right? So it's definitely cool. Yeah, I mean, if it's one game too, do or die,
Do or die, boy.
that seems cool.
Higher goal difference plays at home. I think it's cool. If all leagues did this, it would make a lot of leagues like a lot more interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
It'd be
when-
How often
when
does it
when
happen?
it happens, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
It'd make the final
it
day a little
does.
bit more interesting. Obviously, even still, like if both teams were tied and it's just final day, it would suck if like Inter, who are the favorites to start at the beginning of the season, right? Let's say they were tied and they face now last place team, who was last place, whatever, and now they have a better odds of winning that last game versus Napoli,
Yeah.
right? It's like if they both went head to head, which they are, if they finish this way in points, like that's interesting. It's like, okay, like,
It's a lot cooler.
but would it be? It also has to come down to the last game too, because if it's the last game and then one of them loses, one of them wins, there's one of them will obviously win the trophy. But if they
Yeah.
both win, or if they both finish in the same points at the last game, then it's going to be an extra game,
Yeah, it would get added
right?
on to the end.
It wouldn't be the last game of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
They would,
per se.
they would add it on
there'll be
Yeah.
a 39th game.
for them.
Yeah.
Would you think? Because obviously there's a lot of games right now in the season and in football in general, players would be mad that there's another game on top of that.
No.
Not if it means they're gonna win the Scudetto. Well, they'd be
I
mad.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, I mean I'm guessing a lot of other leagues go by GA, right?
Yeah. Goal difference. I think,
Would
yeah.
the team that's, let's say for example, Inter has more GA, more goals,
They do
where-
by a lot.
would they be mad? Like, why is this a rule? We have more goals. All the other leagues do the same thing. Why do we have to play another game now? Have these players get exhausted? And if it's Inter, they're in the Champions League.
Yeah, dude, imagine they have to play an extra game against Napoli to win the Scudetto like a week before they have
That's
to
what
go
I'm
play the
saying.
Champions League final.
Because this is a game where there's no dates for it.
yeah.
So if Serie A is going to put it whenever they want to, they don't. Champions League is not
They will
a
obviously
priority
not
to
put it
them.
too close to the Champions League finals.
But I'm sure Napoli would be like, no, a date's a date. We don't care.
Conte's
We're not
gonna say that,
we're
yeah.
not in the Champions League. We don't care. This is Serie A.
Yeah. they
Who
have to-
cares
they'll
what
have to
happens in the
figure it out.
Champions League? So
That's a good point. That's a good point that you make. But I think they probably would have, like, the rule probably would have been put into place, like, at the start of the season. So probably all the clubs had to agree to it. So they probably won't, like, make a stink out of it now. But I think you make a good point with, like, the whole, like, when will it be played? Because that's huge, especially, like, for Inter, like you said, they're still in the Champions League. So, like I said, like, imagine they have to play, like, the Saturday before the Champions League and Napoli gets, like, 2 weeks rest.
yeah.
You know, kind of going into that, then whatever team's playing them in the Champions League now also has a bit of an advantage too,
Yeah,
right? So it's like that's interesting.
Do you guys think they should play at a neutral venue, or is it fair for the team with the best GD to play at their home?
I think it's fair. You have to give them something, right? 'Cause,
Yeah, I
like
mean-
realistically, before if them having the better goal difference would have meant that they won the title. So I mean, like, just let them play at home. I would say makes sense because neutral would be like I don't know, like you don't have like an advantage for like in reality being a better team throughout the season, right? Because if you have a better goal difference, in theory, you're a more dominant team, so you should get some kind of advantage, I would say.
And it'd also be like bad for the fans because now you have two sets of fans coming traveling. to watch the games. Like, holy smokes!
Be bear scraps.
Now it feels like it's a Champions League final. I know it's serious, but like.
But that's how the atmosphere should be, you know.
But it's like, where would they play? Would they play like in a neutral
Olympico,
ground, like
no?
in Italy, or do they just sauce them to like Azerbaijan or
Well,
something?
Go to US or something.
Yeah.
See, they've been wanting to do a game in the US. That could be their chance.
Hey, what a better time, right?
Yeah, the only thing is they're gonna be winning the Scudetto in the US instead of winning in Italy.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's kind of whack.
The fans would go nuts. Like, there's a lot of true fans that don't have the money and the income to be going to the US. They'd be mad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If that happened.
I would be.
I'd be super mad.
Yeah, no, I think it's got to go to the team that has the higher GD.
I think it makes sense.
Silly fair way.
But I'd love to see it across all leagues because I do think it's more interesting for like the neutral. But I think it's also like a better way to end the season than like you said, like going through like a list of like all these statistics until you find one where one team has an advantage. I think is just kind of silly. I think it's better just let them duke it out, play an additional game. It's more exciting.
I think as a fan, like the emotion you're gonna go through in that game though, it's gonna be insane. So yeah, I agree. Keep it.
But can you also see it as a different way? Like, I don't remember remember when City and Man U were with Aguero goal?
Yeah.
Were they tied at the end? Like
They were
points,
tied.
and it went to goal difference, or was it City scoring got them the extra points?
I think City scoring got them the extra points, but like in reality, like you're still gonna have, in theory, like let's say for example, like Napoli and Inter, they match results like for the last 5 games they have left in Serie A. Like let's say they win out or they tie out or they get the same amount of points. Like on the last match day, if they both have the same points going into that, you're still gonna have that crazy excitement because like, you're probably gonna be watching both games to see what's happening, right? Because like you could draw that game, but if Napoli, let's say if Inter draw but Napoli loses, then they can win with a draw. So you'll still have that kind of last day like emotion, but if they both like end up with the same result, then that's when you get that extra game. So I think it kind of just adds something on top of that like last match day excitement because you'll still get that for sure because like whatever happens in the game is going to affect the table in live time.
Yes, but with this happening, you're also putting that speculation that okay, they can tie it and then there's another game. Meanwhile, for example, let's just say it was a tied points with City and United. You knew at the end of that season of that game, one team was going to win the league.
They finished in 89 points
100%.
each.
So they finished tied at that.
They finished tied.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Head to head.
It was head to head. It was goal differential.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like with that, this way that we see in the Premier League where it goes to goal difference, you know, at the end of the season, the end of this game, it's a team's winning no matter what. Meanwhile, there's a way that it could tie, and then it's like,
well, no, they're not they can tie. Like, but if they just end up on the same points, then
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
an extra game.
You're adding that into it, which is like,
which I think is kind of cool. I think it's sick because, dude, even realistically speaking, like they can end up on the exact same points, like for other reasons too. Like Inter can let's say lose next week and then win out, but then Napoli could win out and then lose in the last game. And then now they're tied on points because they end up losing that last game, and then there's an extra game. I think it's cool to have the extra game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I do like the way that Serie A is doing it. It adds another game, which is my only worry. Players would probably get a little bit mad about that, but to see it's legit like another finals.
Yeah,
of a huge league, right? So I like it.
If this does happen, who wins?
Enter.
Think so?
But do you? My question here is now: do you think they'll finish off with equal points? Because Inter's calendar right now, they have Milan in their Coppa Italia still. They have Roma in the Serie A, right? They have Barca back to back. That's just for semis. If they beat them, then they have the finals, right? Then they have Verona. Then they have Torino, Lazio, and Como.
And then a potentially Coppa Italia final in there too if they beat Milan.
If they beat Milan, right?
So they're going for the treble.
And then Napoli have Torino, Lecce, Genoa, Parma, and Cagliari, which I think is
Easier schedule, right?
the easier one.
That's definitely an easier schedule for Napoli. Yeah.
I think Inter's just deep enough. They have a deep team, so.
But they also have an aging team too. A lot of players over the age of 30 on that team.
Yeah.
But they have an aging team, but then they also have like aging like depth. Like they have like crazy midfielders they can bring off the bench. Like Zielinski and Fratesi would probably start for like 90% of Serie A teams, and Inter just bringing them off the bench for fun, right?
But this is the moment we're close to the end of the season where every game matters, and this is where the players get those big bucks, man. In my opinion, like you got to really step up these games. Like, it's
This is like the playoff version of
that's
like
exactly
American
what they
sports.
say. This is legit like NBA, where like the regular season's done, playoffs is like another game, and these players are now
every game is a final,
110%.
pretty much. Yeah.
Every game nowadays is a final. Like every team is going into it, especially in Serie A, especially in La Liga. Like these games is a do or die. Like yesterday, Real Madrid won by 1 goal, and I was like hate watching that game so badly. They tied that game, it was basically dead. Like it was gone. A lot of Real Madrid fans were saying it's done if they lost that game. So like every game matters, man. It's playoffs.
Yeah, of course. But as we were saying, their depth, like they're pretty much switching players like for like. Like they got Bisek that could play anywhere in the back three. He could start for any team, any Serie A team. Then they got, as you said, Zielinski and Fratesi. Then they got Zalewski on the left wing back. They got Augusto that could come in. They got Darmian. They got Taremi up top. They got Arnautovic. Like they have so many options that honestly, I don't think it's gonna be a problem, the rotation. I think they're probably gonna win out. I don't know how they do in Champions League or the Cup, but I think they win out in Serie A for sure.
But it definitely, like the loss to Bologna definitely makes things more interesting now, because like before, like everyone thought, okay, Inter's gonna win out. They've been so dominant, but now it almost like, okay, like there's a way that we can beat these guys, and now they almost kind of maybe they have a little bit of doubt themselves, because before it's like they probably felt invincible. Because when was the last time they lost a game? Ages, right? So like now, you kind of have this, tough game where you lose like the 94th minute, I think, Orsolini scored. So now you have a little bit of doubt that maybe kind of creeps in a little bit. So maybe now teams are going into a game against Inter and saying like, you know what, like if we defend well, counterattack, we can maybe beat them. So
and like you see also different. Maybe you might see an instance where like what happened to Barcelona, where we didn't play Lamine Yamal, we didn't play Pedri in the midfield, and we were losing that game. And then later on, you're at a point where like, oh shit, now we got to put our players on, or actually starters, and then you run the risk of playing them a little too late, and you still end up losing. Those players coming on, they're still haven't warmed up yet, and those are your starters. They might get injured. It's like, dude, there's so many little aspects that can really mess up the game. Do you really want to mess that up by having subs coming on, like, or starting games? So like, it's hard. It's super hard.
yeah, that's why the gaffers get paid the big bucks, man. They got to make the decisions to manage the players, load management, make sure that nobody gets hurt, everyone stays fit, especially this time of year.
Who's had the better season, you would say, Conte or Inzaghi?
Inzaghi. Conte is managing one thing. Inzaghi's doing it in everything right now.
Yeah, the fact that Inter have made like such a deep run in Champions League is obviously very impressive as well, and Coppa Italia too, right? So they're on the deck for a treble. So obviously, I think that's very impressive. But what Conte has done is also very impressive. Like given the fact that they first season there,
That's what he does. So.
right?
Cavara,
Sold basically their star player, their one star player, and then he's basically doing it with like a bunch of Prem rejects. Threw them together. Scott McTominay and Lukaku are just looking like peanut butter and jelly out there. Like they're just like.
But this is what Conte does.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So if he does win Scudetto this year with Napoli, what does that say for his legacy? Because he'd have won a Scudetto with 3 different Italian clubs, right? Juve, Inter, and Napoli. Despite their best player leaving, midway through, with some would say not the best team in Italy.
He won't go down as one of the best managers of all time, but he'll go down as one of the best league managers of all time.
Like one of the best Serie A
because
managers.
he can't do it in tournaments. He just
Champions
can't.
League, he struggles a little bit. Yeah, but no, I definitely think like if they if Napoli win it, I think that's more impressive for sure than what Inzaghi did. Even if it goes down to this do or die last game and they're essentially equal, because realistically, like you said, I think that Inter squad on paper is far, far, far superior. To Napoli's. So I think the fact that he's been able to push Inter to a potentially do or die game at the end of the season, I think that hats off to him, right?
Yeah, Conte literally becomes just a club merchant. So here for his resume, he has 1 English Cup with Chelsea. He has 4 Italian championships with Inter and 3 with Juve. And this would be his 5th with Napoli if he gets this one here. FA Cup with Chelsea, the season after they won the League's Cup. And then they have Italian Super Cup with Juve. And then Italian, I don't know, some other trophy with Bari. Probably like a
Serie B trophy
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he literally he's league manager. He does it all the time. He could be giving a shit team. I'll give him that, and he could turn that team around. But you put him into a tournament, you can't do it.
But not for anything. Give him a team that's not sitting in a great position.
Juve.
Napoli, although Napoli, again, weren't in the greatest position before the season started, but he was able to get a couple of signings that were able to do wonders for that club.
But signings we never
Lukaku, man.
But signings we never thought were gonna do.
But
this
he
well.
has his guy, and it's
Tommy was a reject.
no man. Like Tommy is a good
was the
player.
other midfielder?
Zambo Anguissa?
Gilmore.
No, Gilmore.
Gilmore?
Billy
Also a
Gilmore.
reject.
Yeah, he's proper though.
Lukaku a reject.
Not really. He balls out.
Neres was eating for a little bit.
Ned is a reject
Oh,
too.
yeah,
but
Ned
the
is,
thing
yeah.
is with this Serie A, you can I'm sure most people would say, and Chris too, like it's not a strong league season.
Not this year, no.
If it wasn't for like that, Inter would be gone already. If it wasn't for Napoli competing, like it's
true.
Like
Yeah.
getting some points, like the competition is not there. Did they win their games against Inter?
Who?
Napoli lose?
I don't know.
What were they?
No, they're tied. They were tied on head to head.
Like they were a good competition, but we went back and forth, right? But it wasn't a tough season for him. The trophies he won at Juve was probably the best Juve's again.
No, his
No?
first year we were bad. Like he came in and he turned us around because we were 7th place the year before he came in.
Damn.
So
And then that Chelsea side too. Like it was a good Chelsea side.
Yeah, that was a sick team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there.
yeah, but it's the same thing. You could say that for Pep or whatever.
Yeah.
No, he's a good league manager, but that's all I'm gonna say. That's all he does.
All right, let's move along then.
Shout out Conte, man.
So let's go back in time 10 years ago to 2015. So Lionel Messi had picked 10 superstars for the Backed by Messi campaign by Adidas. So I want to go over these players and see, how their careers kind of festered out.
Let's
10 years
name
later.
them and then see like, yeah, where are they today?
I recognize most of them.
Yeah,
So
recognize most of them?
first, Kennedy.
Brazilian guy,
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Played for Chelsea,
Getafe.
played for some fodder La Liga teams. Didn't really go much better than that, right? So, all right career. Not too bad. Maxwell Cornet, I
Same
believe he
thing.
played in, the Prem?
Yeah, I think he played for Bournemouth and he went to West Ham. But he played for Lyon before that.
Burnley too.
It was Burnley, not Bournemouth. He's still. I think he's still kind of young. Like he's like 27 maybe.
Are these all the same age?
No.
He's
They're-
currently on West Ham.
Yeah.
Not
West Ham.
bad.
He came from a thing, but
These guys are probably all like 18, 19,
28 years old
17
right now.
at
yeah,
this
so he's
time.
still not that old.
So this is
All
10.
these
This is
guys
10
are-
years ago.
Yeah, all these guys are probably around
Teenagers.
the same age,
But
realistically.
they're in their late 20s now.
Yeah.
So
In their
decent,
prime, they should be.
decent career. James Wilson.
Was that the one that was
That's
at
the
United?
Welsh. He's the Welsh guy, no?
Striker from United?
No, the Welsh, the winger.
That's a different James.
That's Dan James.
That's Dan
No,
James.
no. It's James Wilson. He's another Welsh kid.
Nah. I think this is a guy from United, no?
No, that's a fullback.
The striker.
James Wilson. Right now, he's a Welsh dude.
I think is he?
He plays for Northampton right now.
Is he Welsh?
He is Welsh, yeah. No, he's
Okay.
English. He's English, sorry.
He played for United, no?
English.
He's at 95.
Was he playing for United?
Let me see. Yeah.
wiki out.
So from 2014 to
Yeah.
2019, he
He
played
was,
for
he was
United.
a striker. He was
15 apps, 3 goals.
yeah, he was a young striker for United. I remember he was supposed to be like
Why don't I remember him?
But after that, it
Yeah.
kind of went downhill.
he had a
Brighton on
rare
loan,
bronze card in FIFA.
Derby County loan, Sheffield loan, Aberdeen loan, Aberdeen bottom, and then Salford City, Port Vale, and now Northampton
So,
Town.
He was just
Bottom of the rankings right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a championship, like League One kind of merchant.
yeah.
Not a good
So
one.
after that, Timo Werner, probably the best player on this list.
Oh, easily.
Some would
which
say.
is also
Yeah, easily.
Nothing
That's
crazy.
what
He had his Leipzig stint. His first Leipzig stint was
Solid,
what puts him over the edge. Because Spurs didn't do much. Now he's back at Leipzig.
No, he's not.
Where's he now?
he's still at Spurs. No?
Spurs.
Oh, yeah, he's still Spurs. What am I saying?
I think he was on loan there last year. He didn't really do anything. So I
Yeah.
think they sent him back.
So he's nothing.
Doesn't
like,
really play
crazy
for
anymore.
Spurs.
He was supposed. I think he was supposed to be. He was like the most touted for out of all these guys.
His mistake was going to Chelsea. Like that was his big
Oh,
mistake.
he went to Chelsea.
He went to
too.
Chelsea. That was his
Yeah.
big mistake because it was never going to work. Then they started playing him on the wing, and that's when his career died because he's not.
Kind of
He's
like,
not a winger.
Like
He needs to
Nkunku.
play with 2 strikers. He's one of those guys who needs to play 2 strikers up top.
Yeah, they played him on the wing.
If you're not a team with 2 strikers, Timo's not going to work.
Yeah, but probably the best career out of the bunch here. After that, Ghazi Zardes,
Remember him, man. American.
MLS.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? He made a name of himself, even though he just played in the MLS. Bro, he was in the Alex Hunter storyline.
Yeah.
So Give him some respect. He was the guy with the blonde mohawk. Everybody knows him.
Currently at Austin FC.
Yeah, he's been cooking, I think, just like a bunch of different MLS teams, right?
Bro, I would put him like mid pack. Mid pack easily. He's not bottom.
I mean,
might
pretty
be.
decent international career, I'd say. 68 apps for the U.S., 14 goals.
68 apps is pretty impressive,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's North American.
Yeah,
Gold
he's like a lot of
Cup.
Gold Cup and probably
Yeah.
qualifiers against like
It's okay.
the
Still did
Bermuda
it.
Triangle.
He doesn't leave North America.
Who's next?
So after that, we have Accurcio Bentivegna.
This
the
guy,
Argentine?
This guy I
Who?
don't recognize.
This one, I never heard of this
He's
guy,
Argentine?
to be honest.
Must
Sounds
be.
like he's
I think he's like
Argentine.
that. He's really short.
He's actually Italian. He plays for
I don't know.
Pescara
I
right
don't
now.
know his name.
Pescara. Wow.
Yeah. So
Never
he played
heard of him.
for Palermo between 2014 to 2018. So around the time when Messi would have, recognized his talents.
Scouted him.
Yeah,
And then
supposed to be
went
the next
Como on
Dybala.
loan, Ascoli on loan, Carrarese, Juve Stabia, Imolese, Novara, and now Pescara.
Ah,
This
okay,
guy's
so
like
he
this
stinks.
guy's like a Serie
like-
Serie C merchant.
Yeah.
So he might be bottom.
Never got a senior career cap. Just pretty much like youth.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
besides that, not the best career. Who else we got here? Alexei Miranchuk.
I say he's decent.
Decent player.
He was recently just at Atalanta. I think he got moved to another Serie A team.
I think he's at Atlanta United.
He's at Atlanta
no?
United.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Atlanta now?
Yeah.
Okay, I think
Wait,
he
he
had.
went from Atalanta to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes. No, he had a decent career. He came from the Russian league.
Big Lokomotiv Moscow.
Yeah.
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 178 caps.
Midfielder, no?
Yeah.
Cam.
10, I think. Yeah, he's solid.
Oh, he's a good player.
46 caps for Russia, 8 goals.
Yeah.
Not bad. But after that, Ronnie Lopes.
I remember this guy. This
Portuguese
guy had some
guy.
hype, man. He's at Monaco for a bit, right?
Yeah, he was.
Played for Lille,
City.
I think too.
City he had hype when he was at
Yeah.
City.
Mhm.
But yeah, the Portuguese guy never made it, right? Like, just wasn't it. Just
Yeah.
wasn't it.
He was on loan a lot. Lille on loan. Lille B, Nice, Olympiacos, Troyes. Signed for Braga in 2023, and then Alanyaspor. Now he's on Farense on loan.
Damn, he just
Oh,
fell
somewhere in
falling off
Portugal.
hard.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
I forgot Jeremy Boga.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Boga.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good player. I don't know where he is now though, but
He's in the French league, I think.
his Atalanta days were good.
He's at Nice.
Yeah, makes sense.
And lastly,
Last but not least, we
Kiri
have
Shelton.
Kiri
I
Shelton.
don't know. I have no idea who that is.
This one I never heard of either, to be honest. Kiri Shelton.
Jamaican?
He's an American dude. Currently playing for St. Louis.
Oh, damn.
If I had to give you my top three, I think it would be Timo 1, Miranchuk 2, and Boga 3. That's my order.
I'd probably flip those two, but I agree.
Which two?
I'd put Boga second
Over Miranchuk?
and Miranchuk third.
I have kind of a better question. All around, with all these players, what would you give a rating out of all these players, 1 out of 10, how well they've done?
Every single player or just
All
only-
around.
Like
Just give
varied.
In
very-
general,
In general.
Messi's talent ID.
like 3.
Messi chose these players.
Okay,
That's
he
a bit of a
definitely-
stretch. That's a bit of a stretch.
His vision on the pitch was a lot different than his scouting vision. I would say his scouting vision's like 3.
Yeah, it's probably like a 3, like maybe a 4.
3.
4 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
3, 4 to
A
10.
3.5 to be nice.
Yeah. But realistically speaking, this was okay. We have these young players who are all Adidas athletes. Let's try to hype them up.
It was also a group of players that were a little bit diverse in terms of nationality, in terms of clubs
Leagues
being
they were playing
played,
too, yeah.
and maybe positioned in a little bit.
You couldn't get like Dybala and Pogba in there at that time?
No,
They're already too big at that point. 2015, they're already stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. There was not Dybala.
Yeah, he was.
No,
dude.
Dybala was even at Juve 2015.
Dybala was already a star at this point.
He was at
bro.
Palermo.
Not in 2015.
Yeah.
I don't think so, bro.
Yes. I think we got him 2016.
16, you guys
I-
got him.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. We got him
Even-
the year after the final.
Either way, he was already like a much better player than all of these guys.
Oh,
who
yeah,
were in
obviously.
And
2015.
he was more hyped up than
He would,
He
like-
was a star. He
Like,
was,
he
he was
was-
like, he was like a star in the making. These guys at this time were probably all like playing in some kind of youth academy still.
he was 2015. He was Palermo Juve. Like,
But I'll tell you what.
in that year he transferred.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why he wasn't on this. Obviously, he's an Adidas athlete now. He was Nike before.
Oh, he was Nike before. Yeah, you're right.
He was full on Nike.
you
Magistas, Mercurials. He was wearing Mercurials back then.
Yeah,
he was
you're
a
right, you're right.
baller in Mercurials.
Gladiator logo.
Yeah.
But no, I give this whole group of guys 3 out of 10 as well. Surprisingly, and actually not surprisingly, there's no like defenders or anything in these lists.
No.
It's the Messi's list, right?
They won a
It's for the
star.
boots,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stars now.
People don't care about defenders like that, bro.
This list now, this new one that you're about to say, I really don't like it hearing about the last list and how all their careers turned out.
But
Scares me a little
this
bit.
list here, this new list now that came out from Adidas, it came out actually the 15th, like a couple days ago. This is a list of players that we featuring his boot silo, like his new boot. It's called the Triunfo Estelar, so like the star winner or something like that, star champion. Set 50 boot. So this is like the new sign of the 10 best players that Messi thinks are the new young ballers in the world today. A little bit diverse. A lot of the names that have been kind of already been set in stone and stapled out there already. So we got Lamine Yamal, we all know,
Obvious.
star.
Yeah.
He can end his career tomorrow, and we can give him a 10 out of 10. Right? Calvin Sullivan,
A lot of hype.
hype. He currently plays for Philadelphia Union. Already has his contract signed with Manchester City for the
Nice.
next, I think it's next 2
Yeah.
years from now.
When he
3
turns
years.
18, right?
What?
Yeah.
How'd
He
that happen?
He's already a City player.
hear
But
about
this
that?
is old news, man.
I didn't even hear
That
about
been
that.
happened,
Last
bro.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's already a City player, but currently still playing for Philadelphia Union. Obviously, nothing new there, but he's been able to do some magic on the pitch right now in the MLS.
Yeah, he's got a few caps.
Yeah, some nice goals. I think he had a free kick goal. Plays with his brother still. I think his brother plays for
Yeah.
Philadelphia Union. Claudio Echeverri. This
This
guy
guy's
sounds familiar.
This
Argentine
guy's
talent,
neat,
bro.
man. He's on River, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a
Echeverri.
baller, man.
Who's he? What are the rumors on him? Was he going anywhere?
City, I think.
City as well.
They might already
He's
own
just
him.
gonna
Yeah, I
take them
believe
all.
City owned them, but he got loaned to River.
Yeah. He's a baller, man.
Jaden Shaw.
She's the
Jadon Shaw.
Jamaican.
Jamaican. I think she plays for.
Jamaica.
She played for City too.
She plays for City. I don't know if she got a move, but I know that she's like one of the top strikers in.
Now she plays for the Courage in
So
the
she got traded then.
NWSL.
Last year she was at City. Everybody's in the WSL. now.
Next
Everyone's
player
in there.
here, Antonio Nusa.
Another wonder kid, man.
Where's he from?
I don't
You
personally.
guys probably know more than I do.
He's Norwegian.
Norwegian was playing it for Club Bruges last year, and then he's at Leipzig now.
Leipzig.
Oh.
He's like 18, 19, Norwegian.
Already got 13 caps for the Norway senior team.
Yeah, he's a baller,
What
man.
position is he?
Winger.
Oh, nice.
Tricky
Joel
winger.
Ndala.
No idea.
Who this?
I think he plays in the U.S., I think. Remember we were looking at this list together, Matt?
He's an English footballer. He plays
Oh.
for Nottingham.
That was way off.
Yeah. So City own him technically, but he went
It's like a
to
Manchester City list over here.
yeah. So he went to Jong PSV on loan last year, and then now he's on Forest on loan.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
So there's Sullivan, Eshveri, Shaw that used to play for City, and Dalla City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple
Oh.
of these guys that maybe will play for City soon.
Vicky Lopez.
Barca player,
Barca.
young talent. 18 years old. Doesn't obviously get much playing time now because how stacked the Barca women's team is, but solid.
Even
up
then,
and
I feel like a lot
talent.
of the women's players are just
Yeah,
ballers
yeah.
nowadays. Like
Yeah.
they know their scout and they're gonna be winning a lot of trophies in
Yeah.
the future. She's in a good place.
Yeah,
So
funny
we're
enough,
gonna-
she played for Madrid before joining Barca, but not the like Real Madrid women's team, like the Madrid CFF, because they have two Madrid teams. The women's, yeah,
and they play in the same league.
yeah.
But this is Madrid's, not Real Madrid. This is another Madrid.
It's a different Madrid. It's not Real Madrid.
Okay, makes sense. We got Kenan Yildiz.
Probably the best name on this list.
Hello.
Probably top 3.
Top 3 for sure. Top 3
Boom.
for sure.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for him to.
Do you
wear those
think
at 50.
his
Can't wait for him to leave.
Do you think his career is promising, or
Oh, yeah.
is it gonna be a flop like his
No,
previous list?
He's
Ever
talented, man.
since Tudor came in, man.
Yeah, he put him into that attacking mid position now. Woo,
Looking, eh?
cooking.
Asan Ouedraogo.
However, that's pronounced. German footballer, plays for Leipzig. Big,
Yeah.
talent in the midfield. Big lad too, 6'3".
No.
A lot of
Yeah,
promise around
damn,
this lad, bro.
Yeah, he's talented. He came from Schalke, right?
Yeah,
That was
Schalke.
like the next big thing, and they sold him to Leipzig.
And last but not least, Eliese Ben Sahir.
Another baller, man.
Sounds like a-
Monaco.
Was he French?
Monaco, French Moroccan, I think.
Yeah.
He scored, I think, a couple big goals like this Champions League season. Like Monaco, I think, had a couple big wins. I think did he score when they beat you guys?
He might have.
I think he did.
Oh, that's who it is. No, he didn't. I don't think
He's
he
got the
did.
curly hair.
Yeah. He's a good player. He makes a lot of mistakes though. That's his problem.
He's a winger. Tricky
young.
winger. Yeah,
But they play him in the midfield that game.
he's a baller, man.
Maybe. But yeah, 20-year-old midfielder from Morocco. 10 caps already for the senior team. A lot of promise around this lad too, man.
Yeah, he's a good player.
But yeah, seeing how we have these 10 names for the Backed by Messi campaign 10 years ago, now 10 years later, Messi picks these 10 players to wear his boots. Now we have to come up with our own list of players we think are going to be next level in the years to come.
Let's give a name each. I got one name in mind who is currently a F50 boot silo wearer, Adidas athlete.
That part I don't know.
Cherki. Still young.
Future United player.
Future talent. I think he's talented now. He had a great game against United. Nice goal. I think he should be on this list. I think he deserves it. Still young. I think he's 18?
Yeah, he's young.
Young too. So I'll put Cherki in there.
Okay. For me, I'm going to say one of Marcelo Vieira's sons, Enzo Alves, represents Spain, plays for Real Madrid Youth Academy, but apparently this guy's breaking like all the striker records for that Madrid youth team. That's why I go
Madrid.
striker. Enzo Alves, remember the name.
You guys got one? I got one. I actually got two here. They're both Argentines. I got and they both play for Bologna. I think Santiago Castro, but if not him, Benjamin Dominguez.
How old are these guys?
Huh?
How old are these guys?
I think one's 19, one's 20, or maybe like 18.
I think Enzo's 15 or 16.
Okay. Well, these guys are ballers, Argentine, so they fit the F50 Messi boot. I think they're gonna have a good career going forward. Wouldn't mind seeing
Who
them
they play
in
for?
F50. Bologna.
Both of them play for Bologna.
Yeah.
I know Castro. Castro's a baller for sure. Number nine, nice number 9.
One's 21, one is 20. So they are 1 year apart.
Well, yeah, that's not bad there. Yeah, I got a couple. Like I think I know we got to go kind of the Adidas route. My first one doesn't wear Adidas, so I'll just skip him. But second one, I just checked, he does wear Adidas. Justin Lerma, Ecuadorian lad, coming from I think the same team that they all come from, Independiente.
Yep, del Valle, bro.
Yeah, 15 years old, already signed a professional contract with Dortmund. Will be coming in 2026. But dude, from the clips I've seen of this kid, ridiculous. Like ball, like number 10/winger, like tall, lanky legged, and he's just been like cooking like the ranks. I think he's already playing for the first team as well, like some minutes, which is crazy. Like at 15, I guess similar to Kennedy Paez when he first kind of came through as well. But yeah, supposed to be super promising. So I'll throw him on this list if we're going for like 15-year-olds. Yeah, because
I did.
Matt said 15-year-olds. So
young players.
I'll throw him in. It looks like he's wearing F50s from the Instagram pics I saw. So that's the only reason why I'm picking him, because I couldn't think of anybody else. Yeah.
Those are good shouts. I'm gonna back you up with another Ecuadorian, like you said. Kendrick Pai is obviously Adidas athlete as well. I should see him wearing these 50s. But another player, Italian player, Francesco Camarda.
True.
He wears Adidas as well. He actually wears 50s, I believe. Would be a cool, cheeky player to see wearing these Messi F50 10s. But yeah, that's our players. Let us know who you guys would add to this new Messi lineup of ballers.
Boom.
Moving on, guys. My United. Oh, my dear United.
Yikes.
Really
we have
brave of you to talk
officially
about this.
been safe of relegation after this weekend.
Yeah?
Officially safe from relegation.
Damn, that's crazy.
So, imagine a United being relegated in 2025.
That'd be crazy.
Ferguson's gonna have to come back.
I don't think we'll see a top 6 team getting relegated in our
Ever?
lifetime.
Ever?
The teams
Yeah.
that come up are too shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, we're in tough times, man. Tough times. We're currently, I think, in
14th?
Currently 14th. Loss against Wolves. Great comeback this past week against Lyon in the Europa League.
All-timer game.
All-timer
Yeah.
game. For me specifically, and imagine being in that stadium. Dude, there was clips of like kids crying when it was like 3-4. We're down by a goal to tie the game. And then after that Maguire goal, flashback, the kid in the sun.
Yeah, they
The
kept
dad-
showing
the
that
dad and the
kid.
son are just going nuts. Oh, imagine being in that game, dude. It's crazy.
Mad.
That locks in Maguire as the Man United legend now.
But there was one tweet before the game started where this one guy, he is such a meme in Twitter, football Twitter, and especially Man United Twitter, where every time he mentions that he's going to be at a game, he's
yeah.
owing like something double-digit numbers of games won when he's there.
United Trey.
Oh yeah,
When he's at the game, he has always been to a lot. They've always lost when he's been to the game. So he tweeted like, "Hey guys," in front of the stadium, and everyone was like, "All right, I'm not watching.
Pack it up, bro.
Pack it up. Like we're done." And It was looking like that, but we came out strong. Maguire, player of the season, just for that performance.
Crazy.
Player of the season.
No other performance of the season has been like they deserve it. So if anything, if we go to the finals and win it, Ahmad, yes, that hat trick win. Or that was a double goal getting against City, but
right? Yeah.
but if we go on and win the Europa League, man of the match, man of the season.
Statue,
But-
you think?
Sorry, statue.
Build a statue outside Old Trafford, bro.
Will Maguire statue?
But speaking of United and being in the dumps these past seasons, we're still in rebuild mode. We're still Amorim, fresh club, young gaffer. Our team's in the mud. We're just not in the right places. But United in the Champions League, they're making it difficult for themselves. I don't know how, but lucky for them, they're currently in the Europa League semifinals. And if they win this, and although being in 14th place, they can still make it in the Champions League next season.
That's crazy.
That being said, the reason why they're in the Europa League this season is because they won the FA Cup last year, although finishing 8th place. So would this be like the craziest comeback story for United back into the CL?
And then they win the CL next year.
After being out of contention for the past 2 years now because they didn't qualify, right, for the CL. So win FA Cup into the Europa League, not being in the position of the table to qualify, winning the Europa League, finishing in 14th, and then in the Champions League. That's a crazy run for me.
That's a little bit of like a 200 IQ play from the Manchester United board. You find an easier way to qualify for the Champions League. It just takes 2 years instead of 1.
They're playing football in hard mode right now, or expert.
It would be sick to have United back in the Champions League, obviously, and I think it also would help, like especially for Amorim. Like he obviously hasn't been able to maybe bring in a lot of his own players that maybe he's wanted. But if he's able to get Champions League by winning Europa League, it should be a lot easier to maybe bring in some players that are like a little bit higher quality because now you also have you have the United pool, but now you also have the Champions League pool.
Absolutely.
So it should be easier to actually bring in maybe some of those bigger names like a Gyökeres or whoever else you want to bring in.
Well,
Apparently they want to sign Cunha.
That's the rumor of today. That's today's rumor. They want to apparently rumors Cunha, which to me
Cunha, I think it's a Koundé.
No.
is ridiculous. I don't think we need another striker or a second striker because we have Højlund, we have Xerxes. We need some more depth, maybe. But I feel like our biggest problems here have just been health. Like I don't care. Don't give me a player. Give me a staff that can keep my players healthy.
Get some
For the
doctors in,
season,
bro.
man, because we're dealing with injuries. Like we have talent, we have Ahmad. If Anthony comes back and if he had a little bit of a good stint in Betis, which surprisingly I saw today,
Scored
5
with his right
goals
foot.
in 17 games for Betis. He got his 5th goal after the 50-something game. I think I saw for United,
Yeah.
Jeez.
something like that. If this little stint at Betis brings his form, if he carries his form from Betis to United, okay, there's a little bit more depth there. We have some depth in the midfield with Ugarte and all these other players right now. Mainu too coming back into a little bit of form after that great Europa League goal. It's just the health, and I feel like we can compete. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough summer as far as signings. And again, like you said, if we get the Champions League, we could probably be approached a lot more with different players wanting to join.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it opens up your options a lot more, obviously.
But guys, can we really talk about how a team in 14th place can make it into the Champions League next season?
Crazy.
Isn't Champions League supposed to be a competition for the elite?
Well, I mean,
And this is a
technically
team
it's
that's in it?
It's the best team in the
That's
Europa League.
why, remember back then, like we said before, we were talking about it before,
Mm.
the best of the best. It was always the team that won the league would make the Champions League. Now we have teams in 14th place making Champions League.
Game's gone mad, bro.
The game's gone mad, bro. What is this? This is not football. Champions League 14th place?
Would this be the lowest a team's ever finished in their respective league table? Qualify for the CL?
That was a
Probably.
question I was going to ask.
Probably, man.
That's 100% it has to be.
Probably.
They might finish lower than 14th.
Well, who finished? Well, looking at other previous champions in Europa League champions, Sevilla. I know that one season they won, but they didn't qualify really high in the league.
They probably
weren't 14th.
They weren't that low. I don't think so.
Now there must have been some champions. Frankfurt that one year, I don't think they were that low. Actually, I don't know.
It's gotta be
A
United,
lot of
man.
eyes are on the Premier League, so you're gonna notice it.
14th is low though. Like 14th is low.
They're like just above relegation.
Now
And they could go further down.
If they go into Champions League and make this decent run, the new format, and they do well, You never know. But the thing is, for me now, like I mentioned, we've talked about this before, and I mentioned it before. Is the real Europa League a little bit easier now to win? Now that there isn't those third place teams coming into the Europa League, competing right for these trophies. Like clearly, those third place teams that are being knocked out of the Champions League last year and obviously the previous format were great sides. Mm-hmm. Maybe they had a poor run of form in that current table in the group stage, but when they go into Europa League, and they're winning the tournament now, right? Is the Europa League now an easier trophy to win? Should United have like a little asterisk being like, the first Europa League with this format, a little bit easier competition in the group stage kind of format, right? The toughest competition for us, what I think was definitely obviously Lyon in the previous game, but it's going to be this game against Atletico Bilbao because they're the team to beat.
Yeah.
Besides that, the other two teams are going to be Bodo Glimt and Tottenham Spurs.
Yeah, Bodo Glimt is a crazy one because they snuck by. It was Lazio, right?
penalties.
But Lazio were an elite team in the Europa League this year. Like, I think they were undefeated, right at the top. But no, I think obviously yes, like in theory, it is going to be easier to win because like you're not going to have those third place teams that come down. But like you probably will. Like obviously this is the first year, so I think it's like a little bit odd, like the 4 teams that are left. But like in a perfect world, like you're probably still going to have like some pretty strong teams that are going to be like in the last, like the final 4 teams should always be like pretty strong. Obviously Spurs, like they're not the Spurs that like we think they are. Like last season they were decent enough to qualify for the competition. This year they haven't been good at all. So I think they're just more of a name. But I mean, dude, Bilbao, like you said, they've been super strong this season. They're probably one of the only teams that is kind of a similar level to where they were last year. That's left in the competition, right? Because like last year, obviously they qualified because they were good enough, and now they're still good, maybe even better.
They're 4th right now currently in the league, and not for anything. Like if it weren't for all the ties that they had, because they have the same amount of losses, I think, as Barca, 2 losses or something like that. And they have
That's
like
crazy.
14 ties,
which
again, those ties you capitalize and you get points, and like you're literally competing for the top of the league now, title, right? So besides Atletico Bilbao, we have United who are in 14th, that we mentioned. We have Lyon who are in 6th place. Spurs, I think, are also double digits in the league. 16th, they're lower than us.
Yeah,
They're 1 point
you guys are close,
ahead
though.
of 17th. So
You
guys are 2 points ahead of 17th. So you guys could still finish 17th.
Well, we all know what Ange Postecoglou said. I always win things in my second season.
He said that?
Yeah, he did say that. I saw that.
So Spurs Europa League.
They've had a lot of injuries too, though.
I know we're here talking about United. Spurs are in the same boat.
Yeah, I get it, but the
Spurs.
way that how did Spurs get in the Champions League, in the Europa League? They qualified.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we didn't.
True.
We won the FA Cup, right? Even Bodo Glimt are 5th in their league in Norway, which is also like
They shouldn't be there. They just have a.
that's just
Fifth in
crazy.
Norway is crazy. Yeah.
They had a great home advantage. They made Lazio play in the snow. So.
I don't know if they made them play in the snow. It just snowed.
But yeah, I don't know. Like for United to beat Atletico Bilbao will be, to me, surprising. And I feel like that finals will be a little bit of a boring final because it can be either Bodo Glimt or Spurs.
Imagine Bodo Glimt and Bilbao. I mean, that's another Spanish team in the final. A Spanish team love Europa League, so.
And they're good. Their game against who I forgot they faced. They faced Bilbao. Who did they face?
Didn't they play Atleti recently?
Over the weekend?
No. Who did they face in the quarters?
I'm hearing a lot of teams want that. I don't know how to say his name.
Rangers.
Suset.
Suset.
Oh, Oyhan Sunset?
Oh, yeah.
So is
Sunset.
this guy having an unreal season?
He's good.
He's a lifer, bro. He's not leaving.
Yeah.
A lot of these players aren't leaving, man, because of their heritage, whatever their thing is.
Yeah, their Basque heritage.
Yeah, Basque heritage.
They're making a bag over there.
I wouldn't be surprised though if United win, man. Like, didn't Amorim say he's gonna play like all the fodder players in the league and save the starting 11 for Europe?
That's the plan, but man,
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, at this point, we're not going to be relegated. What the difference between finishing 14th and 18th? What's the difference?
Yeah, there's nothing to fight for in the league. Like, rest your starters and then have them fit for Europa League, right?
Well, difference is with 18th, you get relegated.
We won't finish 18th.
17th, I mean.
17th, sorry.
Yeah, 17th they can get. Yeah, doesn't make a difference.
But
yeah.
no, I know Atletico Bilbao. They're obviously still competing for top 4, even though they're pretty safe. They're a 5-point difference from 5th, and I think the top 5 teams make it to Champions League next year, obviously because of the larger teams.
Maybe even more if they end up winning, right?
So the Europa League final could be literally possibly a 17th place team and a 15th place team or 14th place team
It can be a
in the final.
bottom table Premier League matchup.
How
Yeah,
crazy is that?
That's
Yeah.
That'd be
insane.
an ugly matchup, bro.
How crazy is that?
Could be a good game though. When push comes to shove, like both those gaffers, I think will we'll go for it.
And if Spurs win,
They have to.
and if Spurs win,
Then you're
Then
having
they
a
go-
bad
Then
night.
Ange was right.
Yeah.
and Harry
Yeah.
Kane, no trophy.
Damn.
Oh, his trophy. He's gonna have the
They'll
Bundesliga.
probably win the Bundesliga
Bundesliga,
because
yeah.
Leverkusen are cheeks, man.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
Yeah, man. You know, United, we fight till the end. You know, fight. I want to see you guys in Champions League next year, boys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sitting on that couch with you guys.
See you there, boy.
Are you in Champions League?
You guys know what
We
Champions
might
League is?
all be there besides Barca.
We'll get there, man. We'll all be there. Next season's gonna be the first time in probably a while that all of our teams are in Champions League.
Damn.
Well, you're fighting for
We'll be
fourth.
there, man. Don't worry.
Yeah?
Don't worry
Yeah,
about us. We'll
you
be there.
reckon?
Don't worry about us. We'll be there.
Sure about that?
100%.
Sure about
You sure about that?
100%. We'll be
That's
there.
what place are you guys in right now?
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna take a little look, see quick.
We're only 4 points out. We'll be there, man.
But Leipzig is fourth.
Yeah, look who Leipzig needs to play in their last 5
I don't
games.
want to check out. That's too much checking.
They got to play Frankfurt and Bayern.
Damn.
Speaking of fighting, I'll talk about a certain Ninja Turtle who was fighting for his life in that box after getting booed by his own team. 'Cause He was
Damn.
suspended. Kylian Mbappe. Let me know what you guys think about this statement. Mbappe's speed hides his flops. Admit it. Is he all flash with no finish? Or the heir to Messi and Ronaldo?
Admit it's pretty aggressive.
Who said that?
Someone.
I think we know who said that, but I don't agree that he's all flash with no finish. Brother's been bagging goals for time, man. For season after season after season. Dude, he scored a hat trick in the World Cup final. If there's someone with finish, it's him.
Yeah.
I think if there's someone who's all flash, no finish, it might be another player that plays in that Madrid front line, but I'm not going to say anything about that.
Vinny.
I disagree with that statement. I do think Mbappe higher to Messi and Ronaldo. Let's not get crazy because I don't think we'll ever get that in a while, but he definitely is not all flash with no finish.
Yeah, I think
He's got finish and flash. And
his
no,
supporting
doesn't really
cast.
flop either.
I don't think it means. Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. His supporting cast isn't playing the greatest around him, which is causing him to flop in games.
You got Bellingham doing cardio out there.
I think it's just. I saw this poll. This Madrid account. Apparently, there was this Madrid account that made a poll of, like, what Madrid fans
I saw this. Who they want to sell.
who they want to sell,
Yeah.
and Vinny was in the top 5. It was like Vasquez, Vallejo,
Vallejo.
Oh, yeah. I think I seen that.
Modric, and then Vinny was there
Fifth?
5th.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, realistically speaking, like, he'd bring in a big sum of money. They don't really need him.
But this is your Ballon d'Or winner.
He didn't win the Ballon d'Or.
I know, but this is theirs. They're like, he should have won. He should have won.
Times change, man. A year is a long time. In football, a year is a very, very long time. Things can change very quickly, as you know, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I think, like, if you're Madrid, like, you have to cash in on probably one of those players and figure out a new way to kind of build this team out with your new gaffer whenever they
Whatever it is.
decide to hire one.
Is that very? Wouldn't you guys say that's very disrespectful though, for your own fan base to say that about your key player from last season, the big guy, the guy that was always there when you guys needed him, and now obviously when he does one bad season, you guys start turning your heads against him now
He's
with
still playing
freaking
pretty
what's it called?
Pitchforks.
Pitchforks.
He's still having a pretty good season. Like, statistically, his season is good. Maybe even better than last season.
Yeah, but
statistically.
But that's crazy.
That's going off numbers, though. That's why you can't look at numbers that often.
Well, it's because they're not going to win the Champions League. I think if they somehow found a way to win the Champions League this year, then I think everything would be swept under the rug in terms of
100%.
like one or two of his performances. But I don't know. I think Madrid will be fine. I think they're just going to need some time to figure it all out.
But do you guys not think uncomfortable conversations have to be had regarding Mbappe? Madrid last season
No.
won the league. Last season won the Champions League. Mbappe comes in now. Some say he's disturbing the dressing room. Too much of an ego. Getting booed by his own players or his own fans rather.
No.
I think it's ridiculous to me because for looking at a quick little glance here at his like matches this season, his performances alone, he's like won them 10 games, coming from like either a tie or a loss. His performances and his GA contributions to these matches, he's won them 10 games, which is huge. right?
He's
Two
been
big
their
games in
best
the
player.
Champions League against Man City, right? Could have been knocked out there easily earlier, and a handful of games in the league where they're still competing in the league because of those results. If it wasn't for him, kind of carrying the team for a little bit, if it's not him carrying his team, sure the other players will box in a little couple goals here and there, but I feel like without Mbappe, no one's stepping up. Jude is not the same player as last year. He wouldn't be playing the same position either. I don't think he could be contributing the same amount, even if they had the same team as last season. I think last year was just a little bit like a first season, feed the guy the ball. It's just a little bit of a,
And they were healthy last season too.
Yeah.
I think this season they've been playing.
They weren't that healthy last season.
But dude, they haven't been
Healthier.
They haven't been playing him, who, and ha at the back like this season. Like
Huh?
this season, they've been playing like anybody they can find on the street, center back. Like Chouameni's in there playing center back. He's been getting reamed. They brought in Asensio. He kind of stabilized things a little bit.
being a
Rudiger
left back.
is probably actually taking a little bit of a step down. It's like the dominant self he's used to be. Carvajal's been out, so they haven't had stability at right back. I think like the whole back line this year, they haven't had like stability at all.
Say the same last year. Courtois
Right?
was injured. Militao was also injured too.
Yeah, but they still had like Carvajal. You had like that solid piece there. They still had Toni Kroos last season too.
That's the glue, bro.
I think the whole thing this season is, if you think about it, they don't really have like a lot of quality in the midfield. They have a lot of robustness. They have a lot of physicality, but they don't have like a Toni Kroos-esque player who
Modric also took a step
control the game, right? Modric was already kind of taking a step back last year, but obviously this season a little bit more so. But you don't have that controller in the midfield this year. And I think like obviously like, oh yeah, they got Mbappe, they have all these players in the front three, but dude, at the end of the day, like we all know that midfield is the most important position in football. The front three can only do so much if they don't have like that dictator controlling the game, right? Like even let's say for example Barca, you've seen it how many times, like you can have your elite front three, but with no Pedri, things fall apart, right? And I think maybe that's what we're seeing a little bit here in Madrid, and I think that's going to have to be like their biggest construction site this summer. They need to find who's going to be that Toni Kroos-esque replacement to have someone to control the game in the midfield. They don't have one.
Okay, I understand that. But my thing is now, and let's not be confused. Before the season start, I would say almost everyone, if not a good amount of people, were saying that Madrid getting Mbappe, the game's gone. It's done. And Madrid's winning everything for the rest of the next decade.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us were saying that.
Makes
Matt was
sense.
definitely saying that. Matt was going off like, bro, it's done. Football's dead now.
Matt wasn't going to watch football this season.
Matt was Matt was contemplating of watching just international football.
Yeah.
He thought the game was done.
That would have been even worse. But
Imagine Mbappe going to Madrid. It's over. They're winning everything. So like, let's not get confused that people had a high expectation. Like Mbappe coming to Madrid, even though Madrid did such a good thing last season, winning so much trophies and doing so well with Bellingham. We all thought Mbappe going to that team was going to bring it up to another level.
But
like
the thing is,
10
where
times
else,
that
where else
level.
can you go? I think, like, realistically speaking, I think it's just, like, to be honest, like, Madrid are worse than last season, yes. Is it Mbappe's fault? No. Like, I think that's the
It's
end of the
not.
discussion.
It's
It's
not.
not
I don't
his
think
fault.
so. I don't think so.
It's not
I
his
don't think
fault.
that's the end of the discussion.
Realistically speaking, Mbappe probably chose the worst time to join Madrid.
His fault.
It is his fault, obviously, but he chose the worst time to join because, realistically speaking, how could they possibly do better than they did last season? They won the bloody double. They won the Champions League. They won the league. The only thing they could do to up that is what? Come through and win a treble.
Mhm.
Tough.
They're
tough
still
to do.
competing for the league now. They're still competing for Copa del Rey. Obviously, the team is obviously still going to step down besides the attack. The attack's the same. Obviously, it's improved with Mbappe. But Vinny's doing better than he did last season currently with less games right now. Last season, he finished with 34 GA and 46 games. Now he has, I think, 37 and 40 games. Like, the team is performing better in the front half or front third, but it now comes down to the midfield, the defense. Are the defenders really, stepping up? Alaba came back healthy.
He doesn't look the same.
Doesn't do the same. The left back position has been, tossed around like nothing. Luis Garcia there, is he a Madrid player? Is he just a international? Is he just a national signing, just a Spanish signing? Mendy is not the same player. Right back, Carvajal is the best right back. Clearly injured. Luis Vázquez, he's not nothing comparable. And they're playing a young Asensio, who to me is
Who everyone thought was the
No.
next big thing.
He's-
Everyone
he's a good
comparing
player.
him to Kubarsi.
he's a good player. He's a good player,
Everyone's
but he
saying he's
makes
better than Kubarsi.
he makes ridiculous mistakes too. He's
Everyone's
to me, he's like Agavi now center back. He does. Like, he's still young, still trying to realize he can't just make stupid tackles right now. He's one of those players who's still young. And then Courtois is Courtois. You can't complain, but Is he going to stop everything for you? No.
He almost does.
He's
been saving
he's got a better goalie than Lunin, but last season they had a better defense than they currently do now.
Oh yeah.
Where Lunin
and
didn't
Courtois was
have to
back
step
for the
up.
final too.
So
Oh no, I want to end off my points with saying this. I've heard a lot of Madrid players, a lot of Madrid fans saying, don't get confused about these numbers that Vinny and Mbappe are doing right now, because a lot of the goals were penalties given to Mbappe, and a lot of the goals from Vinny were a lot of tap-ins. And these are coming from Madrid fans, mind you. I've heard it from people from Chromo, some guys from the SDS podcast saying, don't get confused. This is a worse team with Mbappe.
I don't think it's Mbappe.
That's what they're
it
saying.
can be a worse team, but
And
it's
look-
not because of Mbappe.
But
That's
people are saying, like, hey,
exactly what it is,
we've heard it before with Ronaldo. Oh, why is Ronaldo going there? He doesn't fit the team. He doesn't do it properly. He doesn't do it justice. Even though we know Ronaldo is a bagsman.
What did he do?
Is it the same thing with Mbappe now? Any team he goes to, it's going to be worse because now everything has to go through him. Now he has to perform.
No.
So the
Because
problem,
look, we're not. It's true. Bellingham is half the player he was last season. Rodrigo is non-existent. Vinny's half the player he was last season. The whole front line is different.
the problem is he's trying to cater to Vinny too much, even though he should not be in this team anymore, or Rodrigo, one or the other. You got to take
Or
one of
is the whole team trying to cater to Mbappe the
No.
whole time?
No, they're catering to Vinny too much. If they were catering to Mbappe, Mbappe would be on that left wing.
Hold up. Who was there beforehand? Whose team is it? Wouldn't
It doesn't
I
matter.
would I would I would
Mbappe's team
assume
now.
that Vinny gets that privilege to get catered to more.
Was Ronaldo and Raul on the same team at one point?
No. Yeah, for one season maybe. When it was the first season when he was
think so.
9.
But at that point, Raul was probably.
Okay, I was just checking. I don't
He
know.
wasn't in his prime.
But no,
Anyway.
let's be serious. Isn't it Vinny's team? Supposedly, it's supposed to be Vinny's team. If
Streets
someone's
are
to be
saying.
catered, if someone's to be given goals, shouldn't it be Vinny? Shouldn't he
you're-
deserve that prestige?
No, it's gonna be the best player. Okay, I can give you an
Best
example.
player last
Juve.
season.
Dybala's been there forever. Is it Dybala's team anymore when Ronaldo comes? Nope, it was Ronaldo's team.
We're talking about a GOAT.
Mbappe
Dybala.
is
Yeah,
one
but
of
what
the best
happened?
players in the world.
What happened after Ronaldo came to Juve?
Yeah.
It wasn't
And
his
wasn't
fault,
wasn't Ronaldo toxic?
No, it wasn't his fault.
Was it Ronaldo? Wasn't Juve destroyed after that?
Juve didn't build
Isn't
a
that
team
the exact
for
same
him.
thing like Mbappe?
This team is not built for Mbappe.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So then Mbappe's the issue. That's
He's
what I'm
not the
saying.
issue.
Guys, you mentioned Ronaldo, and I'm looking at his stats here when he joined Madrid. He joined Madrid in 09. I don't think he won anything in 09.
He didn't.
So,
Takes
like,
time, man.
it takes a year. He won the next year. Yeah, I think he won the League Cup and then the Super Cup, or a Copa Spanish Cup winner and then the League Cup. But who's to say next year they don't run it back and go 3 in a row, like
He
three
was,
triple?
Mbappe was the only player that they signed, and realistically speaking, like the team that they had built last year was catered to what they had available. Like they had Joselu coming off the bench, they had Bellingham playing like a little bit further forward. Now you brought Mbappe in, so you have to change everything, but you didn't bring in the necessary players to replace even the players you lost. You lost Toni Kroos, you didn't bring in another midfielder. To replace him.
Literally a
right?
star player. Like you
That-
just lost.
Like you have to rebuild the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, not the whole team, but you need to bring in players to complement this new way that you're trying to play, because the way you played last season isn't the way you're playing this season. Even if 2 of the front 3 are the exact same, the play style, the way you're approaching the game, who's making the runs in the box is completely different. So you need to accommodate towards that if you want to build a good team.
So now,
If you told me Mbappe was joining this Madrid team and Toni Kroos was staying, then yes, they're winning everything. Because Toni Kroos can literally thread a ball through into space that is necessary for an Mbappe run into space and score a goal. No one's doing that for him today.
not when he's playing striker.
They have no midfield, dude.
They have no midfield. Mbappe has.
Mbappe's a striker now.
I've seen Mbappe so much this year having to carry the ball from the midfield because
And he
to
never
create.
drops back like that.
And he never does. He's always playing off the left side, if anything. But he's had space to run through and create chances, but he's literally having to carry it. That game against the last Champions League game, he was the one that was kind of building from the midfield, carrying the ball up. It's like, really? You have an Mbappe do that?
Yeah.
He's the guy that's in the box, should be scoring the goals, tapping them in if anything. Okay, sure, but you want him to dribble with a low block the whole game? That's impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's look at it this way too. Like obviously Mbappe, he's putting his numbers, but does he not hinder the abilities of everyone else?
No,
Like we've
Mbappe's
seen,
not the problem.
he's not the problem, dude.
I don't think he's. It's hard to say. I don't think he's the problem. Like he's an exceptional player, 100%. Any team he goes to, he's gonna ball out. But because he's at Madrid and because he's in that position, I think he hinders the positions and the playing of other players.
Nah.
we've seen it, and I want to give you a what if. Okay, season ends today. Madrid don't win anything. Nothing. Isn't it sometimes better to not go out and you don't have to get the best player? Was it a smart move at the end of the season if Real Madrid end with 0 titles? Was it smart for them to go to get Mbappe?
Yes,
because I don't know. To me, sometimes do you really? I know it's Real Madrid; they want the best players, but is it really that important to go get the best player when you already have the best team? Like sometimes it's like, aren't you shooting yourself in the foot sometimes by doing that?
If they kept this team and didn't sign Mbappe, they would have been in the same boat, if not worse. They probably would have. The league would have been done. They probably wouldn't have been in the Copa del Rey final.
They probably wouldn't have been out of the group stage.
They probably been out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Mbappe, like I said, 10 games this season, he literally won for them with anything, a goal, an assist. 10 games with his input, he's won them games, which is huge.
Yeah, if you take that same team from last season, bring them in this season minus Cruz, give them the injury issues that they have, dude,
that team is done.
They're barely staying. They're barely qualifying for Champions League.
And not for anything. Okay, they don't win anything. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, you always want to win trophies. End of the day, Mbappe's still a huge asset to this team. Selling you kits, selling you tickets, selling you whatever it is. He's going to be a team that's going to be in the long run anyway. He's going to be there for a couple years, right?
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, this is his team. It's not Jude's team. It's not Vinny's team. They're going to build around him. They're not going to build around anyone else. Like you said, didn't the fans want Vinny out?
Yeah,
over
it was like
Mbappe?
top 5. Yeah,
They want everybody out, bro.
Isn't that disrespectful?
And then Vinny also having rumors that he's saying no to Saudi Arabia. But dude, if they keep pushing, maybe he's like, okay, you know what, might as well.
Okay, but we're talking again. Let me state this clearly. This is the Real Madrid.
Yeah.
A season with no trophies is unheard of.
They can
Let's be
still
real.
win. They can still win trophies.
I'm just
The
saying.
fact-
The Barcelona,
and
haven't
the-
you got
and the-
seasons out with trophies?
Yeah,
The
but
fact-
bro, we're not the Madrid. Madrid, they're not different. We all know Madrid's the best team in the world,
Okay.
and because they win titles every season. That's coming from a Barca fan.
And there's been seasons where
They
probably
do
didn't win
not.
anything.
They do not. They're so forward years from now that every season they have the best players. It's true. Barca,
No.
we've gone through stints where we've messed up. We've messed ourselves up by getting players like Coutinho, Griezmann, and all those players. But Madrid typically never do that. They're always the best team. They always have the best, transfers, players that they get. For them to go a season without a trophy, and they have the best team, because we all say it's the best team. This is the Galacticos, and now they're sacking Ancelotti.
yeah.
How that's if I'm looking this as someone outside, and I hear people saying, Madrid fans saying, this is our worst season. What am I supposed to think? Like, this is the worst season.
So would the blame not be on Ancelotti then?
No, I want to put my 2 cents in here really quick.
Why?
Oh shit.
Well, they're missing 3 key components this year that is leading to their worst season ever or whatever. They lost Toni Kroos. They don't have a target player like they did last year in Joselu, which is a huge difference, because when you're desperate for a goal, what are you doing? You're crossing into the box looking for that player. They tried that against who did they just play?
In
Who did they
the,
play?
in the league?
But they just get knocked out in
Champions League.
Champions League.
Arsenal?
Arsenal. They tried that against
Courtois
Arsenal.
said
But
it.
guess what? Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo are not winning a header. And their third, Carvajal, which leads with which kind of combines with Toni Kroos, which is a captain. They don't have a captain on that pitch. They're literally using Lucas Vasquez as their captain right now. You know how much a difference a captain makes on that field? When you don't have a captain to lead your team, it's tough. Like you're not gonna have the best. You're not gonna get the best out of your team without a captain. Yes, you have a manager that should do it, but you need that player on the field that's going to be able to see what the things that your manager doesn't see. Like, it makes that much of a difference. I can't give you an example of a Barcelona captain that's not playing, because your captains kind of stink, like Ter Stegen. Ooh, but like Carvajal and Toni
That's
Kroos
crazy.
were like those guys that are missing, and those are like 3 of the key components I think that Madrid are missing this year compared to last year.
So how come when Ronaldo left Real Madrid,
Not
they
captain.
won a CL right after?
Not
He's a
he wasn't-
captain type
no.
figure, and he's a
Ramos,
key player.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
So
Ramos
you're
was the
saying
captain.
Mr. Champions League, a key figure in the locker room, someone say captain-like material, and one of the best players on the team leaves. How come they're winning the CL right after?
Because they have captains on that team still. This Real Madrid team did not have captains.
But-
Besides Carvajal and Kroos.
That Madrid team, once Ronaldo left, there was another 6 players who can put that captain's band. They
Yeah.
still had Cruz, They still had Modric in his
still
prime.
playing, yeah.
They still had Casemiro, who was also in his prime.
Ramos, I think, was there. that
Bale
year.
was there, even though it was falling off. Benzema was the captain the next season. Again, another huge figure of the
Benzema,
team. Courtois was still there. Like, was Ramos still there? No.
I think that was his last year.
Ramos was still there. Like, they had, like, their team was still, like, great.
Their Real Madrid's team is still great. They won the Champions League and La Liga last year.
Yes, it's not the same
and
team,
they brought
though.
in the best striker in the world.
But as I
Exactly.
said, who's the captain right now? Who's the captain?
Courtois. Who, does it matter?
No, it's not. It's Lucas Vasquez.
If I
as the
told you
captain.
this, Pedri retires this season,
Damn.
okay? Your best player, midfielder?
Yeah.
Pedri retires. Who are you going to toss into the midfield now? Who's your front three? Your starting three
In the mid?
in the mid. No signings.
Young Gavi Olmo.
De Jong, Gavi, Olmo. Now let's say De Jong is that player who we know who's not going to start seeing regular minutes because he's an older player now, but then he's going to be subbed in later in the game, 60th minute or so. Who's your midfield now?
Casado.
Casado.
Proper player.
Who else?
Gavi, Olmo.
Olmo.
That's not a winner.
Olmo,
Fermin.
injury prone player. So now you have Fermin, Gavi.
You just put
Fermin.
so many speculations. That's
but
crazy.
these are players, and this is what's happening to Madrid. But now you
You're
sign,
missing one
but-
player.
But you signed Erling Haaland up top. It's Yamal, Erling Haaland, and Rafinha up top. Your midfield is going to be Lopez, Gavi, and Olmo when he's healthy. If not, it's Lopez. Right? Your defense too. A lot of injuries. You have Eric Garcia now playing in the center back next to that other center back you're playing, that young guy you guys had
Kubarsi.
against Kubarsi. And now your fullbacks. You have no Balde. Balde's injured.
He's fourth.
You have Kunde, and then you have dude, that team is not winning your league next season.
Madrid had injuries last season. They still won.
Yes, but it's not
different
this,
team.
It's this different situation.
It was
Like
the
I
same
told you.
team.
It's not
You
the
can
same
you can
thing.
sign Erling Haaland to your Barca team next season, but if you have two players that are not on that team next year, that team's not the same.
But
You take Pedri out of that
Yeah.
Barcelona team, you're not the same team.
yeah,
Bro.
you saw it, bro. You guys got slapped up by Dortmund, man.
I blame Ancelotti low key, bro. Ancelotti, you can't have four cooks in the kitchen. You can't have Vini, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Bellingham playing because who's gonna track back?
Well, Bellingham tracks. I don't know.
said
That's
it,
one.
yeah.
Bellingham
No one
tracks,
from the
but
front three is tracking back,
you need-
and we
yeah.
saw that
But we said
specifically
you gotta
against Arsenal.
take out one.
Okay.
Then
again,
why get?
Again, this is obviously a stretch here, but when you had Messi, Suarez, and Neymar up top, who was checking back?
They were still running, bro.
Were they
had,
tracking back?
Bro, they had runners in the midfield.
Okay, they had runners in the midfield. Sometimes that doesn't win you games. Sometimes it doesn't win you games.
Well, it did.
The biggest difference is they actually worked well together.
And
That too.
how many years into them playing together were they
Or the
like
first season.
first season? Suarez, Messi, Neymar, MSN. Were they
Pretty
like
sure they're going
winning
on.
trophies?
I think they won trophies the year after, but they're still good the first season.
And these guys are still good the first season. They're still competing for the league. They're in the finals of Copa del Rey. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Arsenal.
Of the Champions League. Okay.
Arsenal's in the semi,
People are saying Arsenal's like one of the best teams in the world.
Wasn't a good. Again, if it wasn't for Declan Rice's two free kicks, which again you cannot blame on Real Madrid. Those are two great free kicks. The game ends at what, 1-1, or was it 1-0? 1-0.
The second game?
First game, 1-0.
No.
That second leg is
scored
completely
3.
different. I know, but if without the free kicks, it's 1-0.
But that also killed their mentality. after
Madrid
that.
going to the next game, 1-0.
Didn't seem like it.
1-0. Like, dude, that's a different game. That's not 3-0 down at home is a big difference to a 1-0 down. Right? Is that now Ancelotti's fault that they lost 3-0 in the first leg? No, and then Arsenal had a great game defensively too.
I don't know, bro. I think Ancelotti's low key overrated.
Again,
Oh.
Ancelotti's not overrated. His time has passed yet, maybe because maybe they do need a different gaffer to kind of see what they can do with the three guys up top. If Ancelotti can't do it, it might be tough for someone else.
Bro, let's talk about it. Failure at Juventus, right?
Sure.
One league title in 9 years with the best AC Milan team of
How many
all
CLs?
time. Biggest CL final choke job in history against Liverpool in 05.
But how
No
many
CL with
CLs?
Chelsea. No back-to-back league titles. Sacked. No CL with Bayern. No back-to-back league titles. Sacked. No back-to-back league titles with Madrid. Bailed out by individual brilliance in the UCL, like we saw with Vini, like we saw Rodrigo. Goals in the finals.
Is that not his tactic though?
It's not a tactic, bro. You can't
So,
just.
but that's him telling his
28
players
years.
what to do.
28 years. 6 league titles.
How many UCLs?
Does it matter?
Yes.
When you've been coaching for that long, you've had the best teams. Of course it's going to happen.
No, how many does
When you're
Pep
having
have?
individual brilliance carry you, of course it's going to happen. What are his tactics?
You're just yapping.
Eyebrow raise?
You're just yapping right now. How many does Pep have and how many does he have? They both had. They both coached
don't
the
put those
best
guys-
teams.
But who's been coaching for longer?
Doesn't matter. He's not gonna catch up to.
Why
Carlo.
not?
He's not catching up to.
You don't know that.
Carlo's like what? Like 6 UCLs.
Bro, he's been coaching for 28 years, bro.
Okay.
28 years.
And Pep has coached for like what? 15.
That's half.
Okay, you get Pep 10 more years. He's not catching up to UCLs.
Why not?
He might.
No, he won't.
Spatty, I want you to tell me what is Ancelotti's tactic.
Vibes, bro. Just vibes and eyebrow raises.
Is that not it?
What's Hansi Flick's tactic?
High press.
Wait.
I was about to say that. High press. Bro, you see what his defense.
He wasn't gonna say it.
Okay, you give me 2 seconds to
continue.
speak.
Bro, we spoke about this. So Hansi Flick is a better manager than Ancelotti. We spoke
Yeah,
about
Carlo
this.
Ancelotti is a man manager, not a tactical manager. You don't have to be a tactical manager.
And guess what? It looks like it's clearly not working if he's a man manager.
Oh, it doesn't work 1 year. He's the most overrated gaffer in the world.
What about the years? What about what I just mentioned?
Bro, you guys are sounding like trippy troppy right now.
I want to keep on saying this. We're not talking about some regular pub side. This is Real Madrid. Every single season counts.
Okay, you're gonna have one bad season. That's when you get sacked. It happens.
And yeah, he's getting sacked now.
Ooh, he just won the CL last year.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he's chilling. I don't think he really cares. Well, obviously he cares, but like it's not like for his legacy, it's not that big of a deal.
no, it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah. And if anything, it was probably time to split. Like he probably should have like left after they won the Champions League last year, gone off on a high, because you always risk that. Okay, if the next season doesn't go as well, then maybe it looks bad on you. But I think realistically speaking, like it was time for something new, because like this Madrid isn't the same Madrid that it was when he started coaching, not the same Madrid that when Zidane was there, when he was there previously. Like it's a totally different team. So I think with that, sometimes you need that changing of the guard with that, because now it's like you said, it's not Vinny's team, it's not Benzema's team, it's not Cruz's team, it's gonna be Mbappe's team, right? It's like it's gonna be a little bit of a different team. You got to bring in new midfielders or figure out how to make this midfield work better. You're gonna have to bring probably new center backs in there now too, because the ones you have are a little bit older. It's a changing of their guard, so I think it's a good time for Ancelotti to leave. Whoever comes in, and it's a fresh era for Madrid.
How many years is he there now?
3.
3 years. Still a good run, man.
Didn't he also lose a league title with PSG? Bottled against Montpellier in the 11-12 season while PSG were on top when he was appointed?
Yeah. Dude, like realistically speaking, like I think we can all admit and say, like, obviously, like he's a great manager when you look at his accolades, but when you actually maybe look at the product on the pitch, it's a lot of times is driven by individual brilliance, right? But I think you can say that with a lot of managers too, right? Like realistically speaking, like Pep, right? Great tactician, but how many of those big games are actually because of his individual tactics and not just individual brilliance on that team?
But someone like Pep, people talk about how he's revolutionized the game of.
Yeah, because he throws in a couple different players in different positions too. Like if Ancelotti went out and started playing like a 3-2-2-2-2-1, then everyone would call him some brilliant tactician.
But who's copying Ancelotti?
No one.
People copy Pep. People copy Mourinho.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have a tactical identity.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we can admit that 100%. I was telling you guys last week when we were talking, I think Hansi Flick is a better manager than Ancelotti. I agree, because like tactically, he actually has something that he believes in. He employs, no matter how risky it is, no matter if he has the players for it or not. He comes in. This is my style. This is how we're gonna play, which I appreciate. Ancelotti really doesn't have that, but he does obviously have
The locker room.
Yeah, he has the locker room. I think he probably just has a better grasp on how to handle, those big moments, those Champions League finals and things like that, because that's a totally different ball game that sometimes tactics can't win you. You need to have like the ability to say the right thing at the right time to the right player, to motivate them, to spark something. It's a different game, man. It's a different way to manage your team. You can be a good man, like Spidey said, you can be a good man manager, know when to say the right thing to the right player to get the right result, or you can be a brilliant tactician. You know how to organize the chess pieces to win the game. But it's two different styles. Two different styles for sure.
And I know you said he balled the final, but how about that year that he came back pretty much in every single game and won the CL?
One instance versus the multiple I mentioned.
Huh?
That's one instance versus the multiple I mentioned.
No. He did it multiple times in one CL run.
Has he not ever retained back-to-back titles wherever he's been?
Huh?
It's tough.
Has he not retained back-to-back titles wherever he's been?
It's tough to retain back-to-back titles, man.
Well, UCL right now.
It's not easy, man.
I don't know, man.
It's hard. I just want to let's end off with this. What does Real Madrid, the Real Madrid, have to do next season to be at that level again that we know they are supposed to be at? Winning leagues, really pressing high for Real in the Champions League, and just being that team that, like what Matt was saying before the season, teams are scared of. What do they have to do? What player? What manager can you see coming in?
Manager, I think
Klopp.
Does Klopp make sense, or who's the other
Klopp
guy?
or Xabi Alonso, I think, are
Klopp.
probably the two that make sense. I think like if you're talking like players wise, I think you need to figure out, and this is probably going to come with the manager that's coming in. You need to figure out what you're doing with that front four, right? Like, is it is Bellingham now an 8, and you're not giving him that kind of license to be a 10? Are you selling one of the front three to kind of have a more balanced attack and a maybe more balanced side? But I think like in terms of like arrivals, you 100% need to have a more technical, controlling midfielder who can actually like take the game by the scruff of the neck and control it and keep possession for your side and create. And I think you also need like a center back, either in their prime or like just entering their prime, who can play maybe alongside Militao whenever he's fit again, who can kind of replace Rudiger, who I think is gonna be taking a little bit of a step back. He's fallen off a little bit. But you just need like a little bit more quality at the back there. I think 2 signings is probably all you need: a midfielder and a center back.
I think they need an attacking midfielder. Maybe drop Jude to the midfield next to Valverde. Maybe a Wirtz to create more chances of going forward. And I think a fullback. I think either a
Trent's
fullback-
coming in, no?
I think if Trent comes in, he can be a great asset to that team on the right side, who can maybe toss in, who can flow into the midfield a little bit more to support a little bit more in the counters or whatever it is, right? But a fullback that can kind of be a little bit versatile, who can play on both sides, maybe that can be a little bit more of an input going forward. Yeah, I think they
For me, I've said this in the live when Marco G was here. They need someone that could do everything and is bad at nothing. They need someone that could go toe to toe with all the best midfielders in the world.
Give me a name.
I will give you a name. He's probably one of the best midfielders in the world, Nicolo Barella. I don't think Inter will sell him, but if they could get Barella, he's the perfect fit. He plays the exact same kind of tactics as Madrid, is like kind of counter-attacking based, quick passes. He has the vision. He has the tenacity. He runs 90 minutes. He does not stop, which is perfect for this team because their forwards are not going to run. His ability to find the striker, his ability to find the winger, his ability to find the midfield that he's beside is second to none, and he's going to show it against Barca. And that's going to be his.
Oh shit!
I think he's the perfect player for Madrid.
Does he scream Madrid though?
Do you
He's
think
doesn't.
been screaming Madrid,
He
bro.
does, but again,
Been.
we know he's not going. So that's a horrible example.
It's not
No,
though.
it's
He's
still
not
a-
going to leave Inter.
He could.
He will
could.
never. I would put
Come on.
$1,000. He will never leave Inter.
He
I'm
could.
sure he's had offers in the past, bro.
Yeah,
Bro,
he pretty
he's-
has.
he's-
But
Well,
Born
lucky
and
for you.
bred.
Lucky for you, I got a B option because this guy's available.
Give me it.
And it's another Italian, Sandro Tonali.
No,
Come
He does-
That does not scream.
No, it does.
Madrid.
It does though. It
That guy
does.
screams the
That-
gambling basement.
It does, though.
Screams of
Gambling.
scamming, bro. And
It does though.
freaking-
'cause
What's
he's another
Madrid's
guy
betting
that can
sponsor?
control
is
the
betting
midfield.
legal in Madrid?
He's been one of the best midfielders in the Premier League this year.
Has he?
100%.
See, I don't know. Like, I disagree with you a little bit there because I think like the 2 players you named, I think they already have. Like you mentioned, like someone who's like, what did you say? Like someone who's good at everything, but like not like excellent
not
at one thing.
bad nothing.
They already have Bellingham for that.
No.
And then like I think like if
Yeah.
you're looking
Yeah,
for like an
okay.
engine, like a Tonali, someone who's maybe a little bit more rugged but has a little bit technical, you have Valverde. I think you need almost the opposite of those two, and you need someone who's gonna be just technically like brilliant. Like you need
Barella does that.
you need to try no
Yes. Oh my God.
Barella and Bellingham, bro. Potato. It's the same
No.
thing.
No, that's crazy.
It's the
you said
same
that.
thing.
No,
One's
it's not.
Italian, one's
No.
English. It's
Nah,
the
I
same.
One's
bro.
tall,
It's
one's
the-
short.
You-
It's the same player. One's tall, one's short.
You don't watch enough
One's
Barella,
lined
then.
up. One's got a little bit of a longer hair. They're very similar players. They're
No.
both very good technically. They're both engines.
No,
they
no,
both do it all.
No.
But I think you need someone who is going to control the game, a la Pedri,
Stop.
a la Cruz. You need someone who's maybe a little bit more
Bro,
technically
you're just
gifted.
stop. I'm gonna stop you because
You
you're
do.
yapping.
I'm not.
Bro, his ability, his vision's way is not even close for him and Jude.
Dude,
Jude can't find the ball like
Yeah,
he
he
can.
can, bro. They play
You
the
want- oh
exact
my
same, bro. They play the
God.
same.
Bro,
They
please watch
play-
Barella.
I
please.
watch Barella, bro. But Barella
Please.
is not Tony Cruz.
No
Does
one's
Barella
Tony
play? Does
Cruz.
Barella play like Tony Cruz?
Go find me a Tony Cruz right now in the world.
You can't. But you can find someone who plays like him.
That's the closest you're gonna get.
Barella, they're not even the same play style.
Find me someone closer than Barella right now.
What
Go.
about
You probably can.
Go, say it.
easily. I don't know. I gotta think of some names, bro. You're putting
what do
me
you
on
think?
the spot
What do you
here.
think of Vitinha as a midfielder from PSG?
Again, I don't think it's an option. PSG are also on a level where why would they sell
Those guys are in
players?
prison there,
Those
bro.
guys-
they
yeah.
ain't gonna leave.
And I wouldn't
Tough.
leave either
I
if
know.
I'm in their position. That PSG is in a position where it's like Yeah, it might be a prison, but it's a prison that you like to be at. It's like a 5-star prison.
It's a nice
That's
prison.
crazy.
You know what I mean?
It's like a prison resort, bro.
I truly, I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't know why I'm giving Madrid some tips right now.
Because
I'm
they're
a Barca
listening, eh?
fan.
yeah.
But Madrid, if you're listening to me, listen closely because I think the player they need is not a big player like you're saying. Barella, I agree Barella is better than Bellingham. But I think you need someone that's not as big as of a name because there's already a lot of hotheads on that team. Imagine putting another player on that team with a big name. Can you imagine the dressing room in that team? I think you need a proper 6 that's going to be able to get the ball from the defenders, distribute to their 8s, Bellingham, Valverde, and then they create up top. Because we're seeing just chickens with their heads cut off in the midfield. They're running too much. We've heard the names. We've heard Bellingham just running like nothing. I think you need a 6 that's going to be able to control the game, calm the game down, to be honest, and is not a big name. Not that big. Obviously, Madrid go for big names, but if they get some crazy superstar, like I don't know who right now, but like they need someone that's gonna be just calm,
Like who?
like just I don't know,
You
like
said he had the name.
no, I said I don't have a name.
Oh.
Okay, realistically,
Get a
Like
profile.
for example, like a profile like Rodri. Obviously, Rodri
Yeah.
wasn't that big of a name. He is not a player who cares about what he does, like his social media and his fandom, but he does his thing. Like a Rodri would be a perfect
Like a
signing.
Zubimendi?
And
Yeah.
like a Zubimendi, and we know Rodri wants to go to Madrid. He likes
he's
Madrid.
gonna go there.
So I think a Rodri player is. I don't even think they need anyone else, to be honest. I think if they get Rodri or someone like Rodri, that's all they need.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. If they get Rodri, like I didn't think that
But
was
someone even
That's
at
what
that
it is.
possible, but like
it's a Ballon d'Or winner, bro.
yeah,
not even him, like someone that's like has a similar characteristic. style of
Zubimendi
him,
would be the closest.
like a Zubimendi, where he's not flashy, does his thing. He's not a hothead. He doesn't care about that name. He doesn't have a big name.
But they got Tchouameni.
Nice thing.
What about
Sure, he
if Klopp
stinks.
goes and he gets Szoboszlai?
Szoboszlai, again,
like a
another
Gravenberg
8. He's
or
another
something?
8 though.
Bro,
Gravenberg.
Klopp wouldn't succeed at Madrid, bro. These players cannot play in a Klopp pressing system. Who's gonna press for Klopp?
We'll find out.
Valverde, Bellingham.
But the top,
You guys?
bro. Again, we said it. They're
I think
hotheads.
McAllister.
What about
would be a good
what
fit, man.
about the front line? Who's pressing?
None of the above.
Vinny used to. I don't know why he's not doing it anymore.
Because he's a hothead now. He's the guy.
annoying,
He's the
man.
thing now. Like he's the guy.
He's probably comfortable too. Like he's been playing now like
exactly.
as a superstar under Ancelotti for a few seasons, so he probably thinks, "Oh, I'm above that." But maybe that's what I'm saying. You need a new manager to come in. Everyone's getting a fresh start. Nobody has that kind of like, "Oh, me and the gaffer, we've been playing together for a while. Like I'm his guy." So everyone starts fresh. I think if Klopp came in, which I think the rumors already got squashed, but like if he did go in, I think like you would need to kind of have like that full revamp. But dude, I think like I don't know. I think all the names you guys mentioned are good.
I think those 3 up top are brass, and they think like they have that Ronaldo or Messi aura where they don't have to drop back. Like we know Ronaldo and Messi don't have to drop back because they're just them. But they think, in my opinion, that they're those guys.
They gotta sell one.
Maybe
I
Rodrigo's
think,
gonna be
bro, I'm
dropping
telling
back,
you,
bro.
one of them has
Hey,
to be
they
sold.
sell one. Who you play on the left side?
I
No,
don't-
they got
put
played.
anyone,
What
man. I
Carlo
don't
played
know.
last year was perfect with
I agree.
with Jude in the cam role.
4-1-2-1-2.
False
4-1-2
nine.
and 2. Yeah, that was perfect. That's what they should have done.
But now you don't have. You still don't have midfielders to play in the midfield.
You have 4 now. Oh no, you got
Who?
signed. You got signed someone, obviously. But that comes next year. But I think they gotta get rid of one, then just replace him with a midfielder.
No, dude. If there was a BBC in once in our lifetime,
Hey,
Bale, Benzema, Cristiano, or CBB, what do you guys want to call it? Since there was a BBC in our lifetime once, and that team was full of stars,
Yeah.
who's to say these 3 can't just next season they'll be what VMR.
Sounds like a cash and carry, bro.
sounds like some type of engine.
Sounds
or
like some
something.
kind of like.
MVR cash and carry on Western Road.
But I honestly think they can work together, but the rest of the team needs to realize you can't expect those guys to come and just chase balls for you. The rest of the team needs to chase.
Bruh,
No.
this is modern football. Everyone has to
Bale,
come back.
Ronaldo, and Benzema were
That
not
was
doing
back
it.
then.
No.
Benzema did.
Benzema did.
Okay,
yeah.
but again, if you have a striker who can probably come back and do a little bit, maybe you don't have Rodrigo playing all those minutes, or whatever. But you have someone who can come and support a little bit. But it now comes down to the rest of the team, because I feel like sometimes the rest of that Madrid team kind of just screws them over.
But as if no, I don't agree with that because that was back then. The style of play was so different. Tiki taka was the main thing back then.
Madrid was not playing tiki taka.
I'm saying back then. It was,
Okay,
that was the
but-
thing.
but they were not playing
But
tiki-taka.
it wasn't like now where the defenders are so attacking. We're gonna see Trent. We're gonna see their other winger going up. now they're imagine being Trent and being the other left back and be like, bro, I have to triple the work now because now our gaffer says those guys aren't coming back. That's our tactic, no matter what, bruh. And then it's Trent who doesn't run back either. Those defenders, those attackers have to get back.
Bless Asensio, man. Bless his soul at the back there, man.
Done, man.
He's gonna be crashing open.
Well, yeah, okay. Maybe Mendy is over it. Maybe Garcia is not the right fullback because he's not a fullback. He's like literally another left mid. Maybe Trent shouldn't really be the player they sign. Maybe they should have signed legit fullbacks. If not, play 4 center backs. Militao played left back before.
Shout out Arteta.
If Alaba can play a nice strong left back, he can toss a left back up the back
Maybe
there.
Maybe just sign Kiwi or.
I'm sure Asensio can rock a right back at some points in the season.
They gotta sign Nacho Fernandez back.
No,
they lost him too, man.
Hey, they lost. Yeah, they lost. That's another captain right there,
bro. Yeah.
Shut up.
Who's that? Center back. Lenormand's good from Atletico.
They just got him though.
Yeah, they just got him.
I don't think he's gonna go with some Madrid on Madrid crime. They gotta do something similar to what Barca did and kind of find like an inigo, like kind of diamond in the rough. Like,
yeah, I get Vivian.
They don't do that, bro. They're gonna sign like Saliba for like 120 mil and call it a day, bro.
Again, like
Matthew's gonna be crashing out when that happens, bro.
Like we said, they're Real Madrid. They're gonna go for the best of the best, and sometimes I think it hurts them.
I wouldn't be surprised
if they get Trent. It's a good signing, but it's gonna hurt them up top.
They need a VAR deal, man. Like someone who's a center back that can play a left back position. Like who's that other guy from Leipzig right now? Center back.
Castello Luqueba?
Is it Luqueba?
Frenchman?
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they signed Gatti.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Okay, and with that, we're done, boys.
Are they still renovating the stadium?
I just want to ask, guys, if you have listened this far, who do you guys think Real Madrid should sign for next season? Or should they sell him Vinny or Mbappe?
No, Rodrigo. Tell Rodrigo.
Let's see. But yeah, end it off, Daniel. What are you saying?
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Yeah, it's been a great one. It's been a little bit long one here. We did chat quite a bit. It was a good session. I love chatting this kind of stuff.
Sesh.
I don't really care what you guys want to dress up as manager. I'd rather talk about real footy. Good content. These guys are having fun over there. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Like David said, if you stayed this long in the audio, in the video,
comment BBC.
Comment, share, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And share with your friends, share with your family, share with your pets, your dogs, your boys.
And we'll all be seeing you guys in the Champions League next season.
Yes.
All of us.
United in the Champions League. But
all
yes.
of us.
You know who we are.
Coach Mang.
And with that,
Ciao, ciao. Later.
Thanks, lads.